Special space with me. My name is Kalu Aja. Of course, in our space, we are always talking money, the economy, and finance. And today, just going to be a midweek edition that we set up together with BusinessTimes to talk around taxes, right? So, BusinessTimes is basically just powering us to talk taxes with you guys. I want to target those SMEs, entrepreneurs, those people that are registered under like a business name, limited liability company. They just want to get some clarity on this new tax reform that has been passed. That's what we're doing today. So let me just go over my own key points. Of course, it's an open session. If you have a question, just request for the mic. We'll be here for like an hour, not long, but like an hour or so, and then we'll be done. So if you have a question, try to request for the mic. I'm just going to go real quick on mine so I can get out of the way and let you guys do ask your questions. The key thing I want to touch on today is just, I had a few things I want you guys to be aware of as a business owner, right? What you want to do for this scheme to start. We're not going to talk too much numbers, so I'm going to say 10%. No, I think you guys have heard that already. The first thing I want you guys to try to do with this new business, how to get ready for this new tax that's going to come January 1st, 2026 is number one, please try to speak to an accountant or try to get an accountant, or even if it's not going to be to keep one on staff, try to get an accountant to look at what you are doing right now. It's a simple question. I'm so sorry, guys. Ask them, what do I need to do from now to prepare myself for 2026? Because what is going to really happen is a change of behavior on your part. If you've been commingling funds, you need to do them. If you've been getting funds into your account from somebody, you need to stop it. If you've not been keeping receipts, you need to also stop it, right? So that's what you need to do going forward from 2026 as regards these taxes. Go and speak to an accountant. If you can't have one on file, pay one for a week to come in and talk to you. What should you do? Even if you're a limited liability company or a small company or an SME, you don't have money to hire an accountant. Like I've said, go to the school. Go to the final year accounting students, pay them and say, hey, look at my books. Am I doing it right? Am I compliant? Get all that done. If you are registered for VAT, make sure your VAT license is up to date. You are paid down and you're good to go. So that's the first thing you want to do. Get your accountant to basically have him on staff or have him on call to go over your current operations, and he will tell you what you need to do going forward, the sort of books of account you need to keep. Very, very important. Number two, you've got to learn how to file taxes, because what's going to happen from next year, you've heard everyone say that if you earn below 50 million, that's if your turnover is below 50 million, you will not get taxed. It's not as straightforward as it's been said. You have to file a tax. When you file a tax, that's when you can then claim on that tax filing that my turnover is less than 50 million. Hence, I do not want to pay a tax. I'm going to share right now on the Twitter page, section 29 of the Tax Act. So if you just go to my Twitter feed now, I've just shared section 29. What section 29 is saying is that the tax authorities can issue what's called a presumptive tax. It says, if for practical purposes, if the income of a person cannot be assessed or records are not kept in a manner as to enable proper assessment of income, then such person shall be assessed on such terms and conditions as may be prescribed by the minister on the advice of the Joint Revenue Board in a regulation under a presumptive tax regime. So in English, what they're saying is this: if you don't file taxes, they can presume that you have made 100 million naira and they'll tax you on 100 million naira. Maybe they see a transfer, or maybe they see something you've done and they'll say, well, that's income, and they'll charge you a tax because you haven't filed. So even though your turnover is 5 million, which means that on paper you should not pay any tax. You still have got to go and file your taxes to say my turnover was 5 million, my profit was 500,000. Based on this, I'm not paying the tax. It's only when you do this that you then have that tax clearance. That's not the second thing you must do. Number 3, VAT. If you are charging VAT or you are paying VAT, both of them, make sure if you are charging that your paperwork is up to date, your registration is up to date, there's no K-leg, you know where to file your VAT collections and all that. The taxman is saying that they prefer you to do it electronically. So the language in the law is saying that if you can do it electronically, they prefer it. So if you're not doing it electronically and you can do it, go and find out how to set it up so you can collect VAT electronically and you can send. Same way for you, if you are buying goods, anybody you are buying goods from, the law is saying that if you buy goods from somebody and that good you bought, let's say you buy diesel, and you know diesel is going to be, you write off diesel from your turnover. You claim diesel as a cost of doing business. So normally that claim, you don't pay tax on it. The taxman is saying, if you buy diesel from somebody and that diesel, they did not pay VAT when they bought that diesel from Dangote or when they imported it, you cannot claim that diesel as an expense. Let me say it again. If you buy diesel from somebody and the person you bought diesel from did not pay VAT or import duty, the taxman will not allow you that innocently bought that diesel to claim that diesel as an expense. So that means you would have lost. You cannot claim that expense. It will reduce your profitability. So make sure if you are paying or receiving, your VAT is on point. And then the fourth one, keep your records. Many of us don't keep records because it's our company. So we just dip our hands into the company records. We take money, we spend money, we don't keep records. Now you must keep records. If you spend money, keep it. If you earn money, keep it. Not just the bank records, just the records of your own transactions, because you might get audited. Remember section 29. It's not just where you don't file, but you might also file and the taxman will still want to come and audit you. You earn only 10 million per turnover. Yes, you can be audited. The man might say, I don't believe you've earned only 10 million. And they will come to your office and say, okay, let's see your tax paperwork. If you don't have that paperwork, what will happen? You then get that presumptive tax. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm saying that do not assume because you earn your turnover is less than 50 million that you don't have to file or you don't have to keep records. That's a misnomer. You have to file and you have to keep records going forward. So if you notice where we're not talking about the numbers now. This is going to be a behavioral change for many of you that have run your businesses as small companies and small businesses. You've got to now try to get those numbers on an electronic format, right? It's better for you. You have to buy an application or even use Excel. It doesn't have to be an application. Use Excel, but you've got to keep your paperwork in such a manner that if someone asks for a record of this or asks for a record of that, you are able to present that. Let me stop here, guys. Like I said, I just want to be very quick. Then if we have questions, I see your questions already on the DM. If you have questions, then we can then take those questions together. You can request to speak and ask, or I can take your questions on the DM. Let me run through again. You have to get an accountant. I would say the best thing is get an accountant and say, hey, look at where I am today. From January 2026, what should I do? What account should I get ready? How am I liable until I get it ready? Speak to a professional. Don't talk to your friend. Go, if you have to pay someone, ask them, take down notes and try to get it up to date what they're telling you, right? Number 2, you've got to file. You've got to file your taxes. Even if you are earning 1 million, the law says if 50 million is your turnover number. You've got to file. Even at that 1 million, you file that 1 million so that you are now not, you are telling the taxman, I only earned 1 million, I'm not going to pay. Number 3, VAT. If you are paying or receiving, make sure your paperwork is in order. If you are buying something big from someone, make sure they confirm to you that they are paying VAT. I'm not saying I'm not arguing that it's vatable or not vatable. I'm saying make sure that they have also paid their VAT, right? Of course, number 5, you want to keep good records. Very, very important. Chooks, you're the first to hop in here. Chooks, what's on your mind? Go for it. Oh, Chooks has gone off. Okay, so back to DM. The law says 50, is it 50 million or 100 million that you have it? Yes, so that's a popular question. 50 million or 100 million. The law mentions both 50 and 100. I think that they mentioned them together maybe in error. But the taxman, what's his name, Mr. Olede, said that the correct number is 100 million. So I might say 50, but he said it's 100 million is the correct number. So we'll go by 100 million. Chooks, what's up?
Hello, Carlo. Good day to you. So thanks for the explanation. I just wanted to ask, so in regards to somebody who offers a service and the return is paid into a foreign account, so like a domiciliary account, how will this expense be? Because I mean, expenses in Nigeria is done in Naira. So say for instance, now I'm trying to pay for diesel and I want to file that as an expense, right? Does just in the event where the auditor might want to audit the books, will they go through the domiciliary account statement, or would that have to be converted into a Naira account first and that will be audited? I'm just a bit conflicted for somebody who is offering that kind of services as a business, that the returns or the payment is not going to be in Naira.
Yeah, they're not worried about where you keep the money. It can be a DOM account, it can be a Naira account, it can be a dollar account, because when you file your annual account, you just put bank account, you put Naira and dollars. What they're interested in is the expenses. Wherever you pay from is immaterial, right? All they're looking for is what's your turnover, what is your expenses, what is your taxable income. That's those 3 things. What is the total turnover number on top? If that total turnover number is more than 50 million, then you qualify to then pay taxes, right? So they then look at, if you are paying taxes, what are you going to pay? They look at your expenses and they say, this expense you are claiming, they have got to be used only for the generation of the income. That means that, for instance, if you own a restaurant, and then you are buying tomato, you are buying rice, you have delivery van, all those expenses you can claim it for the restaurant. But what if you go for holiday in Greece? Can you claim that holiday in Greece as an expense to your restaurant? It depends. What if you went to Greece to look at the latest Greek tomato or olive oil to use in your restaurant? Then that trip to Greece is an expense towards the income of your business. But if it's just to go to Greece and relax, no, it is not an expense towards the income of your restaurant. You see what they're saying? So it is what is the expense that is targeted towards the business is what they are interested in. So whether it's in a DOM account, Naira account, whether you paid in dollars or paid in Naira, what did you pay for? That expense, make sure you get the receipt. Make sure the person you pay to is VAT registered. Then that way you are up to date. Then you do your annual reports. Then you file. They don't want your annual report. Just do your annual report and keep. What they want is the filing. So you file your taxes, and then that then says if you are below 50, no worries. Above 50, then you paid it whatever tax above the 50. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes, it does. It does. Thank you.
Perfect. Excellent. So yes, so same question on DM. Yes. Do I have to file my annual report with the FIRS? No, you don't have to file your annual reports, but do your annual reports. Why? Because when if they come to audit you, you can bring out your audited annual reports. Of course, if you're a big player, you of course have done your annual reports. But when you are a smaller player, please don't say because I make only 100,000, I will not file my account. No, like I've told you, you can do your own records. It doesn't have to, half bread in tax is better than none. Like, do record, let your records be there. This is my single entry book. I have them. This is what I sold. These are my receipts. It's in this file. It's better than saying I have no records, because if you have no records, then that presumptive tax is going to be applied to you. Yeah. So they don't need your annual report per se, but if you do them, it shows those expenses. Then they can basically go through those expenses and they're able to confirm that tax or that turnover is correct. Fantastic. So I hope I answered that question. Then a second one on Twitter is also asking, please, can you explain rent? If I pay rent for my business, do I get 500? No. Okay. Yes. So the rent cap for 500,000 is for individual. If you are renting a business or space for your business, there's no cap on that rental. If it's for the business, if it's an expense, that's what you file under your annual report and say, oh, I rented a place for 2 million. This is the rent papers. This is what I paid landlord. You can claim the entire 2 million. There's no cap for the business. The 500,000 is only for the individual side, which is 20% of the rent that you pay, capped at 500,000. So there's no cap for business. All that the business wants to see is that the income you used, was it used wholly for the creation of the incomes that you are claiming? Once that answer is yes, then of course you can go ahead and do that. Fantastic. Yeah, most of you are asking the same question, so I'm just looking for a good one here, so I can pick. This one is if I pay. So I don't like to really answer if I make 10 million, will I pay tax? Because I just want to focus on the general structure. For this particular question where you say I make 5 million, I want to pay, I would advise you just speak to a tax person, because these numbers you are quoting might be different. You might say I make 5, but you didn't make them on debt, on credit. It changes everything. So try not to ask this, I made 5, I made 6. Just let's talk around the structure of the tax return, right? Okay. Number 2, who is filing the taxes? Do I have to go and file my taxes, and to who? Yes, you have to go and file your taxes. If you're a corporate, you don't file with the state, you file with the federal. I believe that the federal has now become the Nigerian Revenue Service. That's what I believe. So don't hold me to that. You're going to file with them. So you basically would go, they would give you the form, you would put in your incomes. They ask you sometimes for schedules. I don't know how the new one would look like now, because it's going to be the first year that we will file. So you file your taxes with the federal. That's basically who you file it with, not with the state. You will file federal for the company, then you file your own individual with the state. So what this means is that if you are the chairman, CEO of Kalu Export, right, and you own Kalu Export 100%, Kalu Export will file federal income tax with the FIRS successor, whoever that's going to be Nigerian Revenue Service. You filed that one. Then I get salary from Kalu Export. That salary becomes my income. I will go and file that income separate with the state I am in. The state you're resident in, you go and file your payee with that state internal revenue service. So you file 2 times. Yes, one for the company and one for yourself. That's what you're asking, right? You are the same person. Just confirm to me. That's what you're asking. If you're the same person, yes, you file 2 times for the company and for yourself. Okay, yes. So let me see if so my company already pays my taxes. Okay, yes, on that popular question, your company is already paying your taxes currently. Will your company keep on paying your taxes in 2026? My advice to you, sir, is that everyone here is going to have to file a personal income tax. In the past, your company paid you. The tax law gave you 20% of your payroll as an automatic tax break. 20% of the payroll you got automatically from the government of Nigeria as a tax break. Now, this new scheme has removed the automatic feature. There's no more automatic feature. So what that means is this: you have got to go and file. You have got to go and file. When you file, that's when you can tell them that you have collected, that you paid rent, or that you took a pension, or that you took Nigerian Housing Fund, or that you did Nigerian Health Insurance Scheme, or that you are paying mortgage interest. Any of this, if you put in those into the filing, then that is when you are then given a tax clearance. I don't know how your employer will know, for instance, that you've taken a life insurance if you don't tell them. I'm not sure how they will do that. But if they can do that for you, good. But I would recommend for you, even if your employer files your income tax, so your employer is paying you salary, your employer is going to file that salary on your behalf, right? Good. But what about the additional voluntary contribution, the life insurance that you do for yourself? I would recommend you go and file your own personal income tax, because it's going to be both of them. I think they're going to use your name. You can file, and then they will now know, yes, you have filed, this is your income, this is your expense, you don't have any tax to pay, right? Fantastic. So let me just go off the notes for now. The point I'm trying to make, that I want us to get right, is this, right? You will file taxes. You cannot assume that the deduction is going to come automatically. You have to file the tax to claim the deduction. If you don't file the taxman can assume that your income is 1 million or 100 million because you haven't filed. So don't say, oh, I earn 700,000, I'm not going to pay tax. No. Yes, the law says you will not pay tax, but you've got to go and file. Okay, Joshua, my question is, I have 5 million sitting in my savings account. How does new tax policy affect my savings? Okay, the 5 million in your savings account is earning you interest, right? So when the bank pays you interest, the bank will deduct withholding tax on that interest that has been given to you. The bank will deduct the withholding tax on the income that you have paid, that you have received from the bank, right? So the income you have received is what you will pay tax on. You will not pay tax on the 5 million. You will pay tax on the interest the bank has paid you. So let's assume the bank is paying you 10%. That means you got 500,000 naira interest. So it will be that 500,000, they will charge you the interest on withholding tax on that 500,000. That's what they will take from the account. So yes, I know I've answered that. So if you transfer money from that bank, let's say you put it in bank A and they charge you that tax. If you transfer to bank B, will they charge you the tax? Yes, if you earn interest in that bank. But what if you have it in your current account where there is no interest paid? Will they charge you tax? No, because you did not earn income from that money. It's because you are saying savings account. That's why you are paying withholding tax, because you are receiving money. Yes. So savings account, money market, REITs, all those things are going to pay you interest. You will pay a withholding tax on that. The only things you don't pay withholding tax on is the federal government instruments, treasury bills, treasury bonds, things like that. You will not pay income tax on. Saint, thanks. So Saint is saying, I think you have to file annual filing, which requests information about your annual report. Yes, like I said, you will ask you for schedules. So I'm saying, whether you do annual returns, whether you don't do annual reports, file. Don't say because I have no annual report, I'm not going to file. Look at it this way: if you're a big company, you'd have to file everything together. Like in the US, you file everything together. Even if you don't have annual reports, please file. Even if you have single entry, make sure you file. Again, remember what I was saying, behavioral change. What behavior are we changing? The behavior that you do not keep records, that you do not file. Going forward, if you have a business, you have to keep the records and do the annual audit. People are saying to dodge the tax, I'll open up 3 business. Fine. You have to keep 3 business records and pay or file for 3 business, right? Ikechukwu, hi, how you doing? Welcome in, sir. How can I be of assistance today?
Yeah, good evening, Carlo. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, sir.
And the education about taxes and our money and all that. I want to ask something. I have 2 questions. The first is, I believe the law looks forward and not in retrospect. So let's say before 2026, someone has, let's say, 1.5 million sitting in his savings account untouched. Since they say whatever you earn in the year should be about 800,000, that qualifies you to pay tax. And you do nothing with that and it sits till the end of the year. What, like aside the withholding tax, would they tax that, let's say the 15% or whatever that accrues to beyond the 800,000? Sorry, excuse me. That is one. Then secondly, are there any holidays for, let's say, retirees? Excuse me. My parents, I can say maybe they are retired, not working, and I have to send them money for their monthly upkeep, right? And when this money gets into the account, of course, probably you are doing a minimum wage for them to take care of themselves. Would that money, would they be taxed and would they be asked to file? And then, in all these tax issues going on, the real crux of this question I have to ask is, for young families that are growing up, is there any holiday anywhere? Like I can list 1,000 things I do for myself. I don't even know whether there is government anywhere. 1,000 things. My children in the nursery or wherever they call it, that is the basics. In school, we provide our water here, even pay for security, and the road to my place is not even tarred. So, in all these things that the government is telling us we pay this, we pay how many percent?
Oh.
Have we asked about the accountability? How we should be hold for such things, sir?
I hear you. Okay, let me do those first ones, right? If I miss anyone, just correct me. Let me start with the first one. So I just muted you. So I'll just go through your questions. I'm writing them down. So number one, you said if you have 1.5 million in your account today, right? And then you leave that money in your account from January 2026 and you don't touch it and all that. Yes, you will pay a tax. That tax is going to be withholding tax on the interest they pay you. So if the money is in a current account and they don't pay you interest on current account, then you will not have any income. If you have no income, then you will not pay any tax. So I hope that makes sense. You pay the tax on the income that has been earned. So if you earn no income, then there will be no tax, right? So that's to answer that first question. Then let's go to your second question. You said your parents are retired. So they are retired. And then you send them minimum wage to them. Like maybe they're in the village, you just pay them a salary. That's fine. What does the law say? Number one, if they are retired, the money they get as retiree from their pension, they don't pay tax on that. The money they are getting as their pension payment, they will not pay tax on that. Now, you are sending them money. That money you are sending to them is quote unquote income, unless you say it's a gift. Let's assume you say it is income. If it is income, is it more than 800,000? It's going to be the question. If it's more than 800,000, I believe they will pay tax because you have said it is income. But what if it is a gift? They were not too clear on how they manage gifts in that law. If you do a one-time payment and you say gift to parents, 80K or whatever, will they charge them tax? I tend to think no, because they'll look at their age and say, okay, he's paying welfare to his parents. Because what I'm answering, not definitely, is this. Someone had asked me, what if I give my girlfriend 2 million naira every month as a gift? Will they tax her? Just think about this with the tax man. Every month, the girl gets 2 million naira every month. But the boy says it's a gift. The tax man is going to say, no, that's income. You are paying her income. You can't be paying her 2 million naira every month for 2 years. No, that's no longer a gift. Your gift is like a one time or maybe 2 times. You get what I'm saying? So if you're going to pay your parents over and over and over, there are other ways you can do that without giving them cash. What is another way you can do it? Think about buying them an annuity. So an annuity means you take, if let's say for instance, you want to give your parents 800,000 naira a year. You can take 8 million, buy an annuity. If it's paying 10%, they give them the 800,000. You don't pay anything on that transfer. Same with that boy and his girlfriend. You want to give your girlfriend money, you go to the insurance company and say, I want to buy an annuity. You give the insurance company money, they give you cash every month or every year. Your girlfriend gets the money. It is not income. It is proceeds of an annuity. It's not going to be taxed. That's how you want to do it than giving them money every month. They might misconstrue it, but I don't want to give you an answer because they haven't really defined that section. So if it's a gift is a one-time thing, two-time thing. You can't give someone a gift every month for like 2 years or 1 year. So I would say, think about other ways to give them a gift. If you're going to give them more than 800,000, if you're giving them 800,000, that's fine. It's going to be below the threshold, right? All right. Hope I answered the question. The last one, you see that question about accountability, I can't answer. I'm not the government. See, I don't want to go into that route because I'm not the government. I'm not doing this because I support the tax policy. I'm doing this to assist most of the SME guys that do not know what to do. So you don't fall into a trap of, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That's why I'm trying to do this. So I'm not supporting, I'm not for, I'm not against. I'm just doing education pro bono. BusinessTimes is sponsoring, but that's basically what we're doing today. And guys, if you're not following BusinessTimes BT, they're on the handle. Please follow them. They're the ones that are powering this. I appreciate them. So Ikechukwu, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. But for when I say retired, these parents never worked for the government. Probably they were self-employed, and now they are off. So there was no pension. There is no pension, no gratuity anywhere. So it is what they get from the day to day that they live with. And now they just probably do little hustle. I know that can do nothing for them.
I hear you, but are you going to pay them more than 800,000 a year?
For two, of course, for taking care of two persons, of course, 800,000 within this economy, of course.
No, per person.
No, per person, no. Let's say within the two of them, 800,000 should be within the range of 800 or even that $1 million, because it's not monthly.
Okay,
so it should be within that range.
So pay them to separate it now. You pay one 800, pay the other one 800, one 400, one 400. So that way they are below your threshold. You can understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I get you, sir.
Yeah, because that way that's 1.6 million. I know it's for both parents, but that's 1.6 million that you are paying. So that way, as long as one gets below 800, then you're not even worried about whether they're retiree. It's below 800. End of story. Abi?
So, sir, for like tax and the policy that is for senior citizens, nothing talks about them except for those that work for the government.
No.
So for all others that are not within the government, there is nowhere that they are mentioned.
I didn't see it. What I saw was that pension is not taxed. That's what I saw. I didn't see where they said if you are this age, you don't pay tax. Maybe others see. If you see it, please let me know. But I didn't see it. Sorry about that. I'm not a tax. Yeah, I just said I didn't see it. It could be there, but I didn't see it. If somebody has seen it, please send me a DM.
Okay, sir. I understand very well, but I don't know for you people that have been to other clients. I don't know how it's done there, but I don't know the percentage of the senior citizens that have worked for the government that have been civil servants.
I don't know that. I don't know that answer. All I'm just saying is that in America, yes, if you are 60, I think if you are 60 or 65, you stop paying tax. That's America. I don't think it's a Nigerian tax law. They didn't put it there. So I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. It's a great question. I just don't know the answer. I'm not. That's a question for the government.
Yes, that's the essence of what we are doing. When things come up, yes, the government wants to make money. I understand what we are doing to educate the younger ones. When the government wants to make money and you are making money off everybody.
I hear you, Ikechukwu. I hear you, but I'm not. I don't. I just want to focus on the. I just want to focus on just for me. I'm just educating people. What you are saying is fantastic, but it's not for me. You get what I'm saying? It's not for me. I'm not. I didn't pass the law. I'm just explaining the law. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Ikechukwu. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get Jay. Jay, what's on your mind, Jay?
Okay. Hi, Carlo. Good evening. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very loud and clear, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for this session.
Mm-hmm.
I just want some clarity.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of businesses that are registered under CAC, whether as sole proprietorship or as a limited liability, would definitely be under the radar of the tax authorities. But what about businesses that have been established by individuals who don't even have any CAC records or they've not registered it? So are this same set of people going to be also be looked into by the tax authorities?
Yes, everybody in Nigeria, man, woman, company, non-profit, everybody has to file a return. The difference is, will you pay a tax? So let's assume you are enterprising. You have Kalu Enterprises, just business name. You will pay your taxes under your name. So you put Kalu income, Kalu expenses, then you file your taxes under your name. So let's say you sell akara. You say Kalu bought akara, 1 million akara beans, oil, tomato. You file all that. You take your profit and loss from Kalu Limited. Then you put that profit and loss as your income, as your personal income. Then whatever you take as your allowances, the rest is available for taxes. If it's below 800, you walk away. Above 800, you pay the tax. So everybody has to file. Then from that filing, you then know what you're going to pay tax. So if the difference is just that if you have limited in front of your name, after your name, then you qualify for that 50 million turnover rule. But if you're just business name, you are personal, but you still file and claim those expenses, just that you are going to be personal. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that's basically what we're about. Okay, perfect. JC, how now? JC, you've got the floor, sir.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, how you doing, JC? Yeah, hi, what's up?
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for this space. I just wanted to ask maybe one or two questions and maybe to get some kind of clarity.
Okay.
I wanted to know if someone who is not in the country sends money home, maybe to buy some properties, or maybe you are building a house or something. So you're sending money into your Nigerian currency account. At the end of the month, at the end of the year, is it going to be seen as an income, and then is the account going to be taxed? Number two, sorry. Number two, if you receive, maybe you sold your property in Nigeria and then they paid it into your Nigerian account, is it going to be seen as an income, and is it going to be taxed likewise?
Yeah, so that first question where you talked about the if you're just sending money home, you're in Canada, you're sending money home to your bank account in Nigeria. All that they are interested in is what's the income that transfer is earning, because it's not income. You just send the money home, it goes to an account, the bank will automatically calculate what they paid you as interest and charge that account withholding tax. because you don't live in Nigeria. There's a number of days you have to live in Nigeria to be charged as a Nigerian. But if you do business in Nigeria for 1 hour, you'll get taxed in Nigeria. So you see the clarification. If you are doing business in Nigeria for even 1 second, they will tax you for the income you made in Nigeria. But if you are transferring money to Nigeria, you are building a house in Nigeria, and I believe it is 182 days or so, if you are not living in Nigeria, then they will not tax you on that transfer, because it's not income, it's just transfers. But the bank will collect withholding tax from that account, because that account itself has earned income. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay, not to play. So, I mean, how are they going to know I'm not in Nigeria? I mean, they only see my transactions.
The bank account itself. So remember what we talked about, that section 29. So look at it this way. When you have that account, your name is Kalu Zenith Bank with BVN. When they look at the BVN, they can tell if that BVN has filed a tax return. You see what I'm saying? The BVN is attached to the NIN. They can tell if that account has filed a tax return. So if the account has, you earn interest, it's automatic. It's the bank that is paying, not you, withholding tax. The bank is taking withholding tax on the money. You don't have to file tax on that one. You see what I'm saying? But if tomorrow now you want to apply for import license and you tell them that you don't have any money, they have your BVN, they have your NIN, they know that you have money in Zenith Bank. So they will say, but you have money in Zenith Bank. How are you saying you don't have money? Then you have to say, this is not, I wasn't in the country at this time. This is just money I sent to build a house in Nigeria. That's why that filing is important. But they will not tax you, they will not invest. It's not that they're going to start chasing after you. No, you haven't done any taxable activity by just putting money into a bank account. The only thing that you have done is to say you are earning interest, which the bank is going to collect the withholding tax from automatically.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much. So what happens when you receive money to your Nigerian account and you're not in the country? Is it going to be seen as
No, it's not seen as income. No, it doesn't matter if it's what it matters is that the income is the interest the bank is making. Let me make it simple for you. If that money was going to a checking account that did not pay you interest, there's no tax involved at all, because there's no income from that transfer. The transfer itself is not income. The transfer itself is not income. Does that make sense, sir?
Right.
Yes, sir. It is the income from the transfer that is taxable, not the transfer itself. So if you send money to a checking account and that checking account doesn't pay you any interest, then you're not going to pay any tax whatsoever. All right, excellent, sir. Thank you so much. I've got Obiajulu. Obiajulu, hi.
Yeah.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Good morning from here. I wanted to ask you the question the guy just asked here. I want you to expatiate on it in the sense of, like, now, let me give you an example of myself. I'm using Zenith Bank. I am here in Indonesia, you understand? So, how do we send money home? Let me just explain to you. So many times, if you are doing a local work here, they pay you in Indonesia. And we pay tax. They must collect their tax before they pay you. So when you get the money in Indonesia, you have to look for an exchanger. And a Nigerian guy, you give him the money if they are buying good. Maybe some people, so many of them are good, so many of them are there to change money. So now they will use their own account in Nigeria. Maybe the person is using Access Bank, transfer you the equivalent amount to your own Zenith Bank. So now, how do they going to calculate it? That's the first question. Another question is that I'm a business guy. I deal on electronics. In some cases, like I sell phones, in the Shadia. I sell phones. In some cases, so many village people, like in my village, they want to buy so many of them. Like my wife here, and they will send money to her to buy phone. And so many of these things, because I heard you when you talk about writing the purpose. so many of those money they send, they don't write the purpose. Like some of my friends in or they may say, do it way bill. They will not pay you. How much is the phone? You tell them they pay you. So how do we going to calculating? How are they going to calculating those taxes? I hope you understand my question.
Yeah, two good questions. So you get the first one, and let's do that first. That first one. Let me just try to make it so it doesn't matter how you send the money. It doesn't matter how you send the money. What they are not interested in the transfer. The transfer itself is not taxable. So whether you send the money to your dorm, the person in Zenith Bank Nigeria pays to your bank account in Zenith Bank, that's not the issue. That's not a tax issue. The only time it becomes a tax issue is if you earn interest in that account. That's part one. Let's expatiate. The taxman is sitting in the tax office. He is seeing 10 million go to your account every month, into your current account, which means you don't earn interest, Abi. That money entering your account every month is not taxable because it's just going to the bank. 10 million current account, 10 million current account, 10 million current account. He then waits. You don't file tax return, Abi. So what will he do? He won't do anything. The thing is, when you go and do a transaction in Nigeria that needs a tax clearance, that is when they will pull up your 10 million and say, my brother, you are getting 120 million a year, but you say your income is only 1 million. You, because you have kept records, you will now come out and say, no. This 10 million you are seeing was the money that my church was sending to me, using me as a treasurer. I'm the treasurer of this church. This is the records. This is the pastor's letter. You bring your own records and you should say, okay, so it's not your money. Yes, it's from my church. Okay, you can go. You see what I'm saying? The records is what gives you that clearance. Not that you have to have a record, whether the narration or the record to prove that that inflow was not income to you. Because they are only taxing income. They are not going to now say anything you do we will tax. But if you don't have records, let's say they now catch you, they say, okay, who has this terminal? You say, oh, it's my friend, Kalu that sent me terminal. Who is Kalu? It's one guy, I met him in one place. Why is he sending you a terminal? I don't know why he's sending me a terminal. You're in trouble, because they'll just give you a best of judgment or judgment to say, we believe this money is income. And you are trying to hide it by not declaring it. That's when you enter the wahala. Not the transfer itself is not taxable, but it lets them know the profile of the person doing the transfer. You see what I'm saying, sir? So that's why you have to be very careful in which transactions go into your account going forward and the narrations that you are doing. We know many people. I'm a treasurer in my association too. Sometimes somebody will pay money. Let me pay money to whatever. All that one has got to stop now because I cannot receive money because I can't track it. I can't track it for Nigeria. You get what I'm saying? So that's how you have to approach it going forward. No matter how the money is coming, narrate it properly. If it is going to your bank account, it does not generate a tax. What they are interested in is the income from that money. So the bank will say, this money has generated interest of 1 million. They will charge withholding tax. They will pay government. You get the bill. End of story. End of story. So is that one clear, Ojalu? Is that one clear?
Yeah, I get it. But there, so many of these accounts is not current account. They are savings account. Like one of my own is they call it premium savings account. They give me toku.
Yeah.
To use on it, but it's a savings account.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one is the same thing. You will still pay. You just pay. Just like I said, when they pay you the interest, the bank will automatically take the tax. That's what they call withholding. They will withhold the tax from you. So let's say you give them. Let's say the tax is 20%, and withholding tax is 10%. They will not give you 20. They will only give you 10. So they've already paid that tax for you. Sugar. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Your second question, can you please just explain? Say it. Just remind me, please. The second question.
Yeah, the second question is that we save phones, and
okay.
So many of the customers they will they're from village and they live around. They may just call you. Maybe now they are in the one place. You saw one phone that is good, and they call you and say, "That's also phone. Can you buy it for me?" You say, "Then how much?" You just to you without any purpose of you understand now.
Okay, Obi, that's why we're doing this space today. What I'm saying is that those things will have to stop. That's the behavioral change I'm talking about. That's what I'm doing this space for. All those things that we do business with, weigh bill, recharge card, send money, that one has to stop. That's what I'm saying. Even if you want to do it, have a dedicated account. You tell the person, okay, pay the money in, right on the money, phone payment. That is turnover now. Because if it's not a corporate account, then don't do corporate into it. If you can't open up a corporate account, have a separate account for that kind of transfer. Because you are doing business. And that's what they are looking for, sir. They are looking for people that will want to do business with their personal account to avoid tax. Or are doing, you get. That's what they are looking for. So my advice to you is that all those kind of transactions, try to stop them. That's why I say you should talk to an accountant. There is no more, I go pay money to your account. Let me send way bill. If possible, open a corporate account, open a corporate account. If not, have a separate account for yourself, a separate account for your business. So when they come, you can say, this is all my turnover. It is below 10 million, so I don't have to pay any tax. You are clear. Because if the mistake is the OBR, if this your transfer, do mistake, cross 50 million, you are liable to tax. And then if you're liable to tax, how would you prove that money was just the money your wife sent you or the money that customer sent you? That's where the wahala is, because it's now commingled. And if that makes sense to you, sir, what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's hard. That's why I'm... Good. That's why I'm doing this space, because many people are just picking a number and saying, 50 million, I'm going to pay tax. It's not true. They will not tax you. The law says they will not tax you. But if you don't keep records, that's why I shared section 29 for everybody to read. If you are doing business, you have an account, somebody sends 10 million. Let me give Tony. Let me buy fish. Give my mama. All that money coming to your account, how does the taxman know it's for fish for your mama? How does he know? He doesn't know. So what you have to do is to say, keep proper records. Don't mix business and personal. Keep proper records. Don't mix business and personal. So if they come for your business account, this is my business account. So all the transfer, the transfer is here. The total here is 32 million. I don't have tax because I'm below 100 million. I can go away for free. But when you start to mix money for rent, money for fish, money for contract, that's when you now cross 100 million. You've now entered Wahala. You have to come and explain every line. So, Obi, thanks for the great question. I think it was JC. You had a follow-up? JC?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please go ahead, JC.
All right, thank you very much. And I am sorry if I'm dragging you back. There's an explanation you gave that triggered the different questions.
Okay.
So I asked if I'm sending money from back to home and maybe wanted to get some property or maybe building a house, and then you said we should keep records. So if I'm sending money to my own account, what kind of record do I keep? Like I should write down on a book that I sent this money to my own account because I'm building a house, or because I'm buying something.
It will be on the bank statement already. Just put the narration. So when you send money, put narration, transfer home for building. It's on the narration already. Like on the bank transfer, you always see memo line. Just write the memo line. That's all. Because once it's coming through the bank, it's already captured, Abi. So that when you pull up your statement, even if it's 5 years from today, you'll see transfers to buy home, or transfer to my village, or transfers to whatever you want to call it. Project X and Project YB. So that's the narration we're talking about. Many people just send money, there's no narration. Because if somebody is asking you to audit for something, you're going to say, you see, I narrated this one, and so that is your proof that money was sent for this purpose. Does that make sense, sir?
Yeah, very well. Now, very clear. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Again, for someone who receives rent from maybe you have a commercial building, so
Perfect.
are those rent going to be seen as income? I mean,
Yes. Yes, they will be seen as income. So if you own a building and you're receiving rent, what I would advise you, open up a separate account for that rent, not to your personal account. Open a separate account for that. Even if you want to receive that money into your account, make sure they put rent. They should write rent for June, pay to you. Rent for June, pay. Not just transfer money to your account. Insist they write the narration when they are paying the rent. But I would recommend you open up a separate bank account and ask them to pay the rent to that bank account. If possible, you know what they do in America? They open a company in the name of the property. So if I live in number 2, Koshofe Street, I'll open up a company called number 2, Koshofe Street. That company will receive all the rent. Why? Because when I do painting, when I do expenses, I also bill that company. So my company is getting rent, but it's also taking the expenses to maintain that house from that same account. So you see what I'm doing. So that's what I would advise you to do on that, sir. If you can't do a company, just let them narrate it properly. The summary is keep records. You can't go wrong keeping records. All right.
So the rents are taxable.
Yes, the rent is pure income. It will be taxed, correct. So if it is for individual, once it crosses 800, it will be taxed. If it's for a company, once it crosses 50 million, it will be taxed, correct. Less expenses.
Really? I mean, what do we get from this tax?
I don't.
JC,
you do. I know. I hear you. JC, I hear you. I'm just my own just to explain. No vex, I beg. No vex. All right. I have a question from Joseph. Currently, I'm paying my payee, but I file annually. For year 2025, I have paid my tax till September. Next year, 2026, tax will start. Will I get relief for rent? No. You will get rent relief in 2026 fiscal year. 2026 fiscal year, which means when you pay rent to your landlord, make sure you put the date and the year. Don't write rent. Say rent for year 2027, 2026. Make sure you put that year. Very important, because when you then file taxes, Joseph, you are going to say, I'm paying rent for 2026. It is that 20% you are going to pick and put in your allowance. So that's your question, right? So if you have already paid rent for this year, fine. If you have paid rent in advance, just go to your landlord and say, landlord, I better write me 1 year invoice for this year. That's all. Let him write you invoice for this year, because that is also income to him. So if you collect 3 years rent, you're going to pay that rent as due. So if you paid in advance, go to the landlord and say, oh, God, I've changed the law, so I need a receipt to show I paid rent for this year. Let's say you paid last year for last year and for 2026, but you paid last year. This year, go to him now and say, please give me receipt for 2026 rent that I paid. I want to use it to claim my money back. That's what you want to do, right? Rents are paid annually, but tax is paid monthly. No, but you file annually, Joseph. So even if you pay your rent annually and your payee is charged monthly, you are still going to file annually. So when you file that your annual tax, that's when you can claim that your rent relief. Yeah. So you can just claim it annually, your maximum of 200 or 500,000, which is 20% of whatever you pay, Joseph. Great question. LPG in Nigeria. How you doing, sir? You've got the floor, LPG.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Excellent stuff you're doing, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate. 2 questions. Firstly, one is personal. The other one is generally for the LPG group we manage. So the first one is I trade. So, and I have some money in money market. So what I do most time is, because when I opened the money market account, it was my personal account. So sometimes I pull out money to do some trading, then I return it back. So I'm just wondering, how would this work? You know, if I imagine me pulling 20 million.
Who owns the money, LPG or you?
No, it's a personal. No, this is personal. This is personal. This
Okay.
is not,
Okay.
Yeah, this is personal, and then but the business actually use it to trade. Then when there is an opportunity, you push it back to the trading account, but the originator of the account is a personal account.
But you said the business uses it to trade.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we want to stop going forward, Abby.
Yeah. So how would it be? Does it mean that I would then have to open a money market account in my business name, so that it's, because you know when you are asking for your money, it goes directly to the default account.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are many ways to do this. So many ways to do this. Number one, just like you said, you can open up a separate account for the business. So the business can invest itself, can earn income. Then the business would pay that, for the business to file its own withholding separately from you, because you are not the business. That's one way to do it. Another way is to say, okay, you can lend your business money formally. So you write a note, you say, I borrow my business, you do a commercial paper to your business. Your business will pay you interest. You can do that. You can write and say, Kalu Limited wants to borrow money from Kalu, and Kalu Limited will pay Kalu 10%. So I will transfer the money from Kalu Limited to Kalu, and I will pay Kalu 10%. That 10% is income to Kalu, but it is an expense to Kalu Limited.
Okay.
If it's the other way around, I don't get any benefits, because as an individual, I cannot claim interest. I can only claim interest on the mortgage. So you want to be clear which way you are going. The business can claim more interest than you. So if it's your money and you are lending it to the business, then the business is going to pay you interest, which is income to you, right? But the business will then claim that as a cost of financing. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
The next one, is this Kalu speaking or someone else?
This is Kalu.
Okay, I don't know how you sound. Good, thanks. The other one is, now for LPG businesses, a lot of them could be classed under mSME. So I imagine that they would need some kind of outsourced tax services. So do you know of any? Is there anyone you can recommend? I'll be happy to have somebody speak to the community and show us how businesses can, use outsourced services. Maybe they're able to pay 10,000, 20,000.
I.e., like a tax outsourcing, right?
Yes.
I know they exist, right? But honestly speaking, I haven't spoken to them how they are set up. I know the person I know, they are still looking at how they want to offer a service, because everything has changed. In the past, they were the ones asking people to use them. Now, they are getting a lot of inquiries. So I think what I can do is to perhaps start a yellow book and say, if you're a tax person, I want people to contact you, register here, then people can contact. Maybe I can start that, something like that. But for now, I think the best way is just to ask your banker or your accountant. I've said it many times before. If you are an accountant listening on the space, or you are a group of accountants, this is your chance to start your own personal PP business. You work Monday to Friday. Saturday you go and do your taxes. Even if it's just Saturday, you go and do your taxes. That's what you want to do. Even if it's at night, you get home by 6, you take your bath, you eat, you work from 8 to 10. People will log in, you will receive people's documentation, you do their taxes, you send back to them. 8 to 10. If you do 2 a day, it's worth it. So you can't say, I work for somebody. I don't know. You have to, because God has given this law on your lap. So if you've got that information, if you've got that knowledge, you've got to basically just go online. I mean, go to Facebook, open up a store on Facebook, Kalu Accounting on Facebook. You receive the request, You will do everything on Facebook. You don't have to even have an office. You can open a business tomorrow on Facebook. Book customers. People will send you scan of what they want to do, send it back to them, and you book your income. So don't, there's time of saying, I wish I had time. No, that's gone. You've got to do this today. Yeah. So LPG, great question. But that's what I don't know if any, for now, the ones I know of, I can't tell you because I've only spoke to them. But I'm going to speak to them and I'll see if I can maybe get a short list going here.
All right, then I'll be happy to collaborate with anyone, even on the call.
All right. Yeah, if anyone knows you, they can send you a DM. Just make sure. There's a guy I know. I'll ask him to get in touch with you. But yeah, that's best we can do.
I'm a DM away, actually.
All right, man. No worries. Yeah. Ifeanyi, hi, your hand is up. Go ahead, sir. Ifeanyi.
Hi, good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I have a question. Let's say an individual owns a company, right? And his expenses for the year is through that company. He wants to purchase a car, a house, whatever. It's through the company, not as an individual, right? And then at the end of the year, his pay or the salary he gets from the company is within the 800,000 naira tax limit and all. Would he, as an individual, be taxed? And if his company earns less than 50 million, his company also be taxed?
So I think I understand what you're asking. You didn't ask it properly, but I think I understand what you're going to. So look at what the tax law is saying. The expenses that the company can claim have got to be used for the company's income. This means that if you own a company, if Kalu Limited is owned by Kalu and I am a mechanic, can I pay my rent in Ikoyi from the building? No, because my house is in Ikoyi, but my shop is in Ikeja. So the taxman will say, I'm not using the house in Ikoyi to generate income. You see what I'm saying? It has got to be directly related to you making income. So if you say when your first sentence was the business pays my expenses, that one has stopped now. Before, I know what you say, in the past, you could do it. Now, they want you to have the business turnover, then you claim expenses. Those expenses can be anything. Burna Boy can say that is private jet, that is mansion, all his cars are all his expenses because he's in show business. His job is to show off. So he can say he's in show business, and the taxman will say, you have a point. His jewelry, he can say all the jewelry are for him to go for concerts. And they will say, you have a point, and they will allow him do it. But you and I can't, because we don't need a gold chain to go to work. So it's got to be related to generating the income. That's what you can claim. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay, so that means if the company is getting you a car, you're saying that the car has to also, in a way, generate interest or revenue for the company.
No, I'm saying the car has got to be used to generate income for the business. Now, can the company give you a company car? That's a benefit in kind. Benefit in kind is also income. You will pay income on that. Not the same as how you pay salary, but you also pay income tax on benefit in kind. So let's say the company has a guest house in Ikoyi, then you go and live there. You will pay income tax. That rent you are enjoying free of charge is income to you. It's not. They didn't give you cash. They gave you free accommodation in Ikoyi. You will pay income tax on that free accommodation. Am I making sense, sir?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. All right, fantastic. Yeah, you're welcome. Let me see. Mr. AGS. AGS.
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good evening, sir.
What's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, basically, I've been following this space for a while. And I noticed that we have been talking about the 50 million naira exemption. For small company. Yeah. So, what I just want to say is that I've read it, I've done my research, because I'm also very interested in the whole tax. And there's a clause in section 202 that defines what a small company is. So basically, they said small company, you owe 50 million thing. Then the most important thing there is the fact that they said excluding professional services. I don't know. I don't think people are emphasizing the fact that it excludes professional services.
Good point.
Because, yeah, so basically, lawyers like myself, medical doctors, architects, they don't fall under this exemption. I don't think a lot of people.
Good point. Very, very good point. Yeah.
I'm wrapping my head around, my colleagues and I are wrapping my head around, how can we get some back and some avoidance or stuff? So basically, I just said I should mention that because I don't see it too often. Like, I don't think we have really mentioned because I followed all the other three spaces you did on tax. I've followed through. I don't think that part specifically mentioned that. Professional service. And the fact that people that are into vocational service, they are exempt. Sorry, they are exempt because vocational service is not the same as professional service. So artisans, right, but people that are professionals per se, like you have a certification for what you're doing, you are not exempt. So still 30% of the levels. Yeah, so that's why I just wanted to contribute. So that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good point, sir. And just thanks for bringing that up. So just like you said, professional guys do not qualify for the 50 or the 100. They don't. They're just going to be taxed as normal. They don't qualify. So good point to raise that up. So again, like I've said, I've tried to be... the first thing I say is get an accountant. There are so many things in that law that if you just look at it on social media, we could just say 20% you will not pay tax. It doesn't work that way. There are so many things that you've got to see a professional that will tell you, no, yes, you are right, but this is how you should do it. It's not just the number, but how you do it is very, very important. So from now till December, meet with an accountant, even if it's just once. And I've said it before, if you don't have money, go to university. Because go to final year, Polytech, for Polytechnic, find the best students in the university and ask him, okay, you're not asking about this tax law. You already know you're going to do another report. So you just say, how do I do another report? Okay, can you come and do another report for me for 100,000? A student, 100K, he will jump. You get, because whatever you do, you have to have another report. So things like that is what you should do. So thanks for reminding us about that. Yeah, that's very, very important. Yes, sir. All right, guys, we're going to be here for an hour. I think we'll be here for an hour 15. So I think we've done very, very well. So I have a lot of messages here on DM. I'm just looking to see if it's anyone that I haven't addressed. If it's not, then I can take it. We've done that. Yeah, most are asking about the same question. So guys, you can just get this recording. I think we've done quite a bit today. This was just a special one that we're doing today. We're going to be back on Sunday, where we have our normal space to talk around this. I think this week we're going to talk. We might talk East-West Road or might talk taxes, but just join. We'll let you know. We'll let you guys know. So we'll try to do a BusinessTimes has basically told us that they can be with us once every week, where we are talking about a topic on business or we're reviewing the papers. That's what we want to do every week. Just bring a topic and then we can talk around what they publish. But this was just taxes, and I thank you all guys for hopping in even at short notice and just learning together. So that's been fantastic. All right, guys, so let me just summarize again. The points again that I'm trying to make, if you notice, I've tried to stay away from the numbers this time. I'm talking about the behavioral changes. Number one, please speak to an accountant. Number two, you've got to file. Doesn't matter if you're a non-profit, you still have got to file taxes to claim that non-profit tax status. Number three, if you are paying VAT, payer or receiver, make sure the paperwork is in order. And of course, you've got to keep records. Don't assume because you are not paying taxes that you will not keep any records. It's very, very important that you keep records, because even taxes claim to not expire. They can come to you after 3 years and ask you a question, and then you'll be liable for that. Obiora, you're going to be our last person. Obiora, then we'll go home. Obiora, go ahead. Obiora going once.
Yes.
Obiora.
Okay. Good evening, Carlo.
How you doing, Obiora? How you doing?
Good evening, all. I'm very fine. Thank you very much for the wonderful thing you do. It's great and wonderful to be part of this.
Thank you, sir.
I just wanted to find out something. When you mentioned that we could use the services of say final year students, good ones,
Yeah.
and they gave us the annual reports.
Yeah.
What do we do? Yeah, what do we do? Especially when we need to use it and it's supposed to have a stamp from a chartered accountant and all that. How do we navigate
Okay,
that?
so I'm referring to the small businesses, those traders, those women selling tomato. That's who I'm referring to, not a guy doing SME business. No, I'm saying it is better you have that record than having nothing. Yeah, so it's just pick your level. Like, instead of saying, "Oh, I don't have money to hire a chartered accountant," if you pay a student 100K, they'll do, because you just sell phones in your name. You don't have a business name. Just you don't even have a name. It's just you sell phone. They give you money, put in your account. I'm saying that kind of person, don't have the excuse and saying I can't go to chartered accountant. Get is even if an accountant to show you how to do single book entry. Even if you just do single book entry, then keep it. Because what they are saying that you're going to file, I'm sure your taxes might not be up to 800,000 or you might qualify for deductions, but you have the record. Because they are saying if they come to you and you don't have records to show that you've not earned above that amount, then they will charge you a presumptive tax. So with this, when they come to you, you can say, well, I don't have a chartered accountant, but I have, these are my records. This is what I filed every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. That's sufficient. If they're going to audit you, that is a sufficient. It will be. Imagine they say you must go and everybody must get a chartered accountant audit report. First of all, no one can. It's not possible. There are not enough chartered accountants, and they won't say it. So that presumes that you can do that. Now, if you are a company and you go and do that, they will follow you. You can't be a company doing 100 million and say you're going to pay a student to do another report for you. That will be not wise. But for the small entry people, the woman selling buka, those are the people that can use that. Yeah, exactly. So if I'm sorry if I didn't really clarify that, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is better than you doing nothing. Because if they come to you, you have no records, you have no report, you don't have any book of sales, nothing, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for hopping in here and listening to me. We'll see you on Sunday. Thank you so much. P.O., send me a DM, please, and I'll answer you. P.O., if you can send me a DM, I'll answer you. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one, and bye.